Here we go. All right, welcome back to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh. For those that aren't familiar with the background settings, it's through the day. I'm a little worse for wear on the throat after a full festival weekend, and we're sitting in Wranglers downtown Glasgow. Bar was the host of the late night stage for the Jubilee this past weekend. And the gentlemen that have joined us today, the band Full Throttle. Now, might as well handle this part first, especially for the audience that's going to be watching this, people that saw you were advertised to perform here the other night. You had an unfortunate incident and were unable to actually make that one performance.
So we had a bit of a health scare here in New Glasgow. Our drummer had to go to the hospital. All is well, but unfortunately we weren't able to play at Wranglers that night. But yeah, we were able to fly out one of our buddies from London, Ontario, where we're from, our buddy Jet from the band No Exceptions. And he's going to play drums with us, fill in until Kalen can get back with us. So we're very happy he's here.
And best of luck as well. It sounds like
Thank you.
Help was available quick, which is nice to know too.
Yeah, we got Jet came out here from London. We called him at 11 o'clock. And he got here at 10 a.m. the next day, learned 20 songs, and we performed a set that night. So big props to Jet, and shout out to No Exceptions, great band from London, Ontario.
Amazing. And so now the rest of the tour, as far as East Coast dates, let's focus on those, because that was kind of meant to be your kickoff down here.
Yeah.
So you did perform after that. So what's your experience been like so far performing in the East Coast?
The night after we went and we played in Truro, but Jet hadn't gone down here yet, so me and Max actually threw a acoustic set together.
Yes.
Which turned out great. The crowd loved it. And then after Bologna, Colorado, who we've been playing with, they finished earlier than the bar owner thought.
Okay.
So the bar owner, Mark, great guy, came up to us and said, hey, I'll give you $100, as many beers as you want if you play another hour.
Amazing.
So we went up there, and me and Max just did it as we went and messed around for some songs.
The owner, Mark, actually got up and played like 6 songs with us too.
Amazing. I like when that happens.
He was great. Like, he was like, hey, you guys know Wonderwall? Of course we know Wonderwall. And he got up and shredded it. It was great. We ended up playing like 6 songs with him.
Amazing.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with a show that Andre Petitpas put on. We hung out with the bar owner afterwards, and quick shout out to him too. He would put on the late night stage here, and he also is our connection to be sitting here today. So we'll give him a quick little shout out there as well.
Andre's the best. Thank you, Andre.
So we're gonna have to have you back at some point for a makeup date in Glasgow.
Absolutely.
There's a few different venues around here. I know this weekend we had a real good time. There's quite a few people end up popping up on the stage last night too. So
that's awesome.
Definitely some good vibes I'd like to carry into the future. But you're also stopping here today because you're on your way from Antigonish out to PEI. So you're going to take the ferry out of Pictou.
Yeah.
So
our first ferry experience today, I heard.
Local residents will know. I did already warn them that they may have a chance of getting stranded at some point. I'm sorry for any tourism people that are watching this, but like, talk to me later and I'll do some ads for you. But yeah, hopefully it's not a traumatic experience. If you do take the ferry, it is a nice leisurely ride over. And as I mentioned, like, sometimes there might be food and stuff on there too, and performances. They will in the summer. There will be people doing similar to what you did with your acoustic set. There'll be people doing that on the deck of the boat. So you may end up getting a free performance out of it too.
Well, that would be great. And then if it does get stranded, we'd have something to do.
Exactly.
That'd be sweet.
Exactly. You've got the right mindset for sure. So when you're done with PEI, what's next for the band?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're headed out to PEI, and we play in Charlottetown on the 5th. And then on the 7th, we play in Salisbury. We're going back to New Brunswick, and then we're doing a run from there. We're going Salisbury, Moncton, Fredericton on the 9th, and then we finish it off in Montreal on the 10th.
Amazing.
And then the long drive home back to Ontario.
Yeah, but you get the Quebec date in, which is usually a question I have for people that are doing the transition between Ontario and the East Coast, either way.
Yeah.
because we do have a lot of bands that will be touring the East Coast, coming from your region, or people from here that have moved up there, and that's topically, that is something I usually like to ask about, that transition. So as far as the market for Quebec, have you played there before, or is this the first?
No, we've never made it into Quebec. We had a few shows lined up in Montreal that have fallen through, and we've had a few opportunities that didn't end up happening, but this time we had Andre, and Andre's reliable, so he got us set up in Montreal. So
amazing.
Yeah.
I love to hear it. And so the band itself did just release new material, which is the reason for a push behind Detour to this extent.
Yeah.
So what can you tell the viewers about the new album?
So it's just a new song that came out. It's called Third First Date. It's about going on a date with your mom. All of them. All the moms. So this is the Hide Yer Mom Tour by Full Throttle to try and promote that. We think it's a pretty kick-ass song. Go check it out. Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music. Deezer. Big shout-out to Deezer.
I don't. Sorry, Deezer. But East Coast DNA Podcast was available on Deezer for 3 years.
No way. We it's kind of a running joke in our band that every time that we talk about our music on stage, we try and see if anyone in the show uses Deezer.
Yeah.
I think over 5 years, there's been maybe 3 people in total that use Deezer.
What you got to do is look somewhere like on Marketplace or something and find some old Microsoft Zune players. It was the iPod competitor.
Yeah.
So get a few of those.
Yeah.
And do a giveaway. That's the Deezer listeners right there.
Perfect. So if you listen to Deezer, you could get one of those.
It's very, very niche market.
Yes, exactly.
So I did say album, and now the market that we have today is very single-oriented. So what has your recording history been like? You're a new-to-me band. I did check out the new single and a couple of the things leading up to it as well. I follow you online now, too.
Yeah, well, we started out releasing singles as we were getting going. So we did 4 singles to begin with. Mm-hmm. They're all out. And then last year we released our debut EP called Premature. So we were 2 years ago now. Damn. And then we just released this single recently, so now we've got 11 songs on Spotify, 11 or 12, and we're hoping this year we're starting to record some new stuff and hopefully get an album going later in the year.
Amazing.
But yeah, so far that's what we've got out there.
So I'm going to hope that you're going to continue down that path and get to the full album, and then we'll get you back down here on the East Coast.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe revisit some of those markets and get a make-up date here in Glasgow as well.
Yeah, that's the goal, because we've started recording this summer, just on our own.
Cool.
Our drummer Kalen's got a good recording setup, and he's good at what he does. So we're gonna be recording an album, probably like 12 songs, something like that.
Cool. Now, as far as the sound, I'm sure that anybody watching this can pop over into any of those streaming services and listen, but how would you describe the sound? Like I'm comparing it to maybe some early 2000s punk that started to get more of a pop punk, but it's still very punk.
Yeah.
But you're in your own words.
I agree with that completely. I think we take a lot of influence from that. We call ourselves power pop punk.
Sure.
Because it's pop punk, of course, but we also get a lot of inspiration from, I love the Replacements, and we like heavier music too. This guy's the biggest Led Zeppelin fan in the world, so I think that kind of meshes together into a cool, powerful sound.
Yes. Sure. And so now when you go into writing songs, and this is something that I usually dive into a lot if I'm doing a solo interview with a singer-songwriter, but when there's a dynamic where I have a duo in front of me or you got like a full band, there's a couple members behind me here too. So when you go into writing songs, is there like a primary person from the band that usually brings a song into the group, or?
I do a lot of the writing.
Yes.
I do a lot of the lyrics. It's most of the time I'm always coming up with stuff. So I'll bring an idea to the boys and we'll just kind of jam it out together and then make a song out of that. So that's how it usually works. I get an idea, or one of us gets an idea, and then we all work on it together. There's been a couple times where we're just kind of screwing around at band practice and we come up with a riff, and then we sit down and write a a stupid song in like 10 minutes, and it ends up being a really good song. So, yeah, we don't really have a specific writing process like I know some people do, but I guess it works.
Does the lighter tone of the topics kind of make it easier? Like, because there's a little bit of tongue in cheek to some of it.
Yeah.
So does that make it a little easier that you're more having fun, so you're not as stressed?
Yes and
about
no.
the content.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to get more into writing about more powerful stuff, I guess. I don't know. Like
no, you had a breakup.
More personal. Oh
songs.
Yeah. This new album's gonna have a number of breakup songs on it. But we definitely still lean towards we like making our songs funny.
Yeah, for sure.
We like making our songs you're able to jump around to and catchy, and so.
Take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah, you can never take yourself too seriously.
Oh no, absolutely. And so now, where did your early inspiration come from as far as getting into music? If you're like to get to that point, where did all that come from? Did you start like at an early age, or is it something more recently?
Well, Evan and I and Kaylin, we all went to like arts elementary schools, so we were doing music and drama and everything growing up. My dad and Kaylin's dad, they were in bands back in the day, so we all grew up around the music, and it was always this kind of thing. Like I wanted to be in a band when I got older, so we started jamming in the lunchroom at school in like grades 7 and 8, just playing Blink-182 songs, and then we found Kaylin through the dads actually, and the rest is history. So, but when we started out, it was all just. We're pretty much a Blink-182 tribute band. Yeah. And then we started writing our own stuff, and here we are.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so, what about your own personal experience?
Yeah, well, like my dad wasn't in the punk scene or anything like that, but both my brothers went to this school we went to. It's called Pearson, so that's kind of where it started. And then me and Max have known each other since kindergarten, so we'd always grown up listening to punk and good music, and then we started learning how to play guitar, and then grade 7 we started jamming, and I was like, oh, this is pretty fun. And then once we got Kaylin, it just kind of took off from there. We actually started the first day of COVID, the first day of lockdown, March 13th, 2020. Wow. It was the first time we all like got together and jammed, and I was like, okay, see you in 8 months.
So is that where COVID came from?
Probably.
Yeah. That's amazing. You heard it here. We finally uncovered the truth. The government's been hiding it this whole time.
But it actually worked out for us, kind of like in a bittersweet way, because we had a whole year basically to practice as a band. Because I know a lot of bands that get together and they just go play a show, and it might not be as polished or haven't defined your sound as much, so it was good for us to have a year to kind of get to know each other and figure out what we wanted to sound like.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I find it an interesting dynamic for myself because I interview so many artists and primarily East Coast based. A lot of COVID stories come out because that's where a lot of people started new projects, like maybe a podcast with a YouTube channel and an Instagram. Anyway, so when I talk to people down here with our schooling, like just because you mentioned having an art school, so that's from an early age, right? So here we do have a lot of music education, and Glasgow is a great place specifically for music programs through like junior high school, and there's choirs and there's a lot of structure. Like we have music festivals here that are properly adjudicated and everything. Our schools, when you go to community college, there's the music programs here in Nova Scotia. There's Holland College over in PEI. There's a lot of jazz bass behind the instruction in there too, as far as formal training. And so I always find it interesting because we have a diverse range of genres here on the East Coast. I mean, outside of here, we're stereotypically known as like fiddle music, but that's changed over the years. And
for sure.
It's very diverse as far as like we got a lot of metal bands, hardcore stuff, and we have like your singer, songwriter, folk people. We have like really super country people, a lot of DJs and everything that you could think of in between. But when I talk to people from away and their own experience, I'm not used to having an earlier age program necessarily, or the support leaning towards like something more punk or a different, more modern genre. And when I think of examples of bands that I know that might fall closely into your demographic, I think of a lot of people that it's their dad or their mom or something was an influence as far as their musical taste. And that's kind of where the genre comes from. So as far as the schooling aspect that you guys both reference, what was that structure like? Was it about music theory, or was it about...
Well, the school that we went, it was called Lester B. Pearson School for the Performing Arts.
Yep.
So we do all the arts. Like, we had drama class, like we were in plays together and stuff like that, and we do art as well. And then we had vocal, which was like we had a choir, and then you also had to do solo vocal, which is by yourself. And then you could either be put into winds or strings. So we were both in the winds class. So I played trumpet, Max played trombone. And so I guess it was more on the music theory side, like at least how it works into our music today. Just having that background of knowing what notes are and stuff like that. But then I'd say once we got into grade 7 and we kind of realized we could do punk and we didn't have to play orchestra music, we kind of cheated the system and just started doing that instead. Like, I was a trumpet player, but then sorry, Mr. Allison, but I complained I couldn't play because of my braces, but I just wanted to play bass. So
now, there is a couple of viewers, like a handful of locals that I know that have very similar stories. It's just that it maybe started at a little bit later age because of the structure of our school system. And it's interesting to hear that foundational level. I have the similar experience in school, but it would have been at an older age. And by the time I started to wean my interest towards other genres and thought maybe this isn't place for me, I was already getting to the point that I thought, like, maybe I'm getting old enough that that's not what I'm going to do. So I got away from the performance side. But apparently the interest in music lingered all these years. So I really like to hear the stories of people from other regions. So it is interesting. It seemed like you had an earlier start.
Yeah, for sure.
To our advantage as well.
Yeah.
Because it definitely, like at Pearson, it was all like jazz and it was orchestra music, but they were also very supportive of what we were doing. Like, they would always open the music room for us at lunch so we could go in and play punk rock.
And our college programs here, like, despite the way I say how the structure works, like, I personally know some of the instructors, and they are very supportive. And the reason I know them isn't because I went to those schools. It's because they're standing beside me in shows like yours. Like, so I do know that they are supportive of it. I love to hear that it's a very similar thing, but it does seem like it gave you, like, you're a young band too, so it gave you kind of like an earlier start.
Yeah, and I think it gave us some confidence too, performing in front of people. Because like every month we'd have an assembly at the school where, like, all the parents would come and we'd play our orchestra songs. So
there's a call for my region to make it available at an earlier age.
I think every region should have more schools like that. Like, where we went was really the only school. There's another school where our drummer went, but it was more just choir based. But our school in our area was really the only art school. So Canada, more art schools.
There you go. You guys are probably too young, but I mean, you have the internet. You know Fame? That's
They just did Fame at Pearson.
Oh, really?
The grade 8s, I did my co-op there.
Amazing.
I went back for my grade 12 to do a co-op at Pearson, and they did Fame for the grade 8 play.
Amazing.
So I helped out with that.
I love it. That's nice full circle moment there too. So now, for people that are new fans, potentially maybe somebody that was out that had a great time at one of your recent shows, and they're sitting there today going, "Oh yeah, this is that band I just saw." Where should they follow you online to keep up with the new releases and tour dates?
Instagram's our biggest thing. So you can follow us on Instagram, Full Throttle Band, and Facebook, TikTok, all the stuff, YouTube. We got a website too, fullthrottleband.ca. You can check that out. But follow us on Instagram to get all the updates on what we're doing, what we're up to.
Your merch game, despite the fact that I didn't get to see you perform here, I was here setting up through the day, so I did see your merch. So definitely the same kind of tongue-in-cheek. You got a branding down packed.
Yeah.
I liked your stickers.
Thank you.
Can you get any of that from going to the website?
Yeah, you can order merch through the website, or even just send us a DM on Instagram. We'll get some stuff out to you. Devin, who he just had to go home actually this morning. He had some family coming in, but he was with us for this first half of the tour. He's our guy that designs all the merch and everything. So you can check him out too at Who's Bill. This is Instagram. He does really good design stuff. He's really
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. Like I said, I'm a fan of the merch alone, so Yeah, shout out to Devin then.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have to get you a T-shirt.
Yeah, perfect. So I do want to get a couple minutes with you guys off camera, and you have to catch a ferry. So I think we'll wrap it up.
Sure,
But do you
yeah.
want to give any shout-outs to anything else before we go? I know you maybe have a sponsor for your tour dates too.
Big shout out to Black Fly Beverage Company for making all this possible, and for Lemon Entertainment. They both helped us in setting everything up and helping us get out here. And they flew Black Fly flew jet out at like 3 a.m. So thank you to that, saving the tour a little bit. But yeah, and Andre, of course, thank you to him.
And
Yeah,
and
thank you.
everybody's doing a great job with their online presence too, because I noticed that some of the people that you're mentioning are bleeding into my personal accounts right
Oh,
now.
yeah?
So there's something with the algorithm is picked up.
Perfect.
Yeah, so kudos everyone, great job. Thanks you. I really appreciate that you took a few minutes extra in your travels, because you could have just ripped right up to the ferry. I know I maybe would have done it. We're all running on very little sleep because you guys have been on tour. I've been festival all weekend. So I think maybe we'll all get a little bit of rest. But yeah, let's have a quick little chat before you catch the ferry. And everyone out there, make sure you follow them online. Subscribe to East Coast DNA. I'll have you back on to do a deep dive at some point with the rest of the guys.
For sure.
And stay tuned for more from East Coast DNA. We're going to have a little break in some of our festival coverage, but there's a ton of backlog, and there's a few standalone shows coming up. So you're going to see a lot more come from us soon.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.